But yeah, man, welcome back to the Snake Trap Sessions. I am so excited to be back.
Did he fall asleep?
He did a little cush nap, a little cushy nap.
A little tucker nap.
The only cush nap.
A little power nap.
The only cush nap without actually being high off cush. Yeah, baby! What is good, everybody? It's your boy MJ up in the building, still in Texas. I have not left yet. You think I'm gonna leave without giving you guys a peek at my boy Bill Stegall's facility? It's been a while since I've been here. I'm so excited. Really feel like he has one of the best collections when it comes to diversity in the game. So I'm gonna take you guys along with me. I'm gonna show you guys what's happening here at the Stegall Resort right now. We have a little pre-party going on for the Arlington show. This guy right here has chondros to not even money could buy. Dreams beyond dreams if you're into chondros. You are now tapped into the right vlog if you're into chondros, because you're about to see some of the most dreamiest stuff. So why don't we tap into this, see what Bill has going on, and let's see what this is really all about. Gee. And there's the motherfucking man, Bill Stegall. Cheers to you, buddy.
NARBC, man. I'm so glad you guys are here. It's gonna be a great weekend.
Here's the start of, dude, Bill, I am so happy to be here, bro. Give me a hug, man.
Missed you.
I think, it's been over a year since I've been in this building, right?
That's probably right.
Okay, how's everything been, man? How's life? I'm happy to be here, but how's everything with you?
Beautiful fucking Texas day.
Look at this.
Middle of February, right?
And you guys
in our shorts.
Well, a week ago there was snow, right? Or did you guys get
A
hit
week
with
ago,
snow?
we had 2 inches of snow on the ground.
Oh my gosh! And now look at it. That's the beauty about Texas, right?
Things are great,
It could
man.
be one vibe 1 week. The next you know, back to vacation mode.
If I get any day like this in February, I'm happy.
All right, man. So listen, I have not done a facility tour on your collection, and I just got done telling all my people how excited I am to see your stuff. You have chondros that not even money could buy. And you know what's funny? That you could put a price tag on anything, but you're not somebody who's doing this for money. And you have, like I said, stuff that so many people are sought after about. But enough is enough. Let's go tap.
Let's go see some snakes.
Let's
man.
go see some snakes, man. Let's
Do
go.
it.
Bill's thinking chair right there. Very important. That's a very important chair right there. I mean, hey, Bill, if I'm not mistaken, a missing snake, a very important missing snake.
Let me show you where I found it.
And that's why you had it up, or
No, I was like this. It was perched on one of the pieces of metal down there. And my son-in-law came in and goes, "Is there supposed to be a snake on your chair?" Like, is it alive or dead?
And sure enough, it was perched up.
Perched underneath it.
What are the odds, man? That's
Yeah,
amazing.
and that was a high-dollar steak that John Irby produced.
Right. Yeah, and I'm just happy you could tell that story, because let's just say if it was crunch time or something by accident, openly out.
I'd still tell the story, but I wouldn't be smiling.
All right, so Bill, check it out. You have obviously a wide selection of snakes that you work with, you know, chondros being one of them, but you also have ball pythons.
I do the Borneo short-tails.
Borneo short-tails, which congratulations on your, I mean, this is your second year breeding them, right?
Yes, sir.
But you just had success for the first time last year.
Yes.
Okay.
Bred 4 females, thinking I'd get a clutch or 2, and they all went.
So what's your experience been so far with breeding short tails? I mean, are you excited about it or?
Love it. It's one of those things I wasn't sure until I got into the project if I was going to enjoy them, but I've really, really enjoyed the short tails, and we can see a couple because they're badass.
I'll never forget the story too when we had Kim helping you with a big girl, and
My ankle was all fucked up.
Right.
So I was on a knee roller.
right,
And I was trying to get this girl out of a tub and into a soap tub.
right.
And things went awry, and the snake escaped, and my wife went crazy, and I couldn't pick it up. I was trying to chase her out on my knee roll, snake hook, and finally she got a trash can and laid the trash can down. We crawled it in the trash can, picked the trash can up, and then I was able to get it out.
So what are we looking at here, Bill?
Let's look at this girl. Granite female, produced by my buddy Lon Drexler.
How are the like the disposition of these? Like, you know, as far as like their temperament and I mean,
I'll show you.
because they're very intimidating. Like, especially if you don't know anything about them or if you like.
They can be super intimidating, and they've got a massive feeding response.
Right.
But once you get your hand in here and you know, this thing for them is super normal. It's not a sign of aggression or defensiveness.
They're just loud. They're loud. They're loud talkers.
They're vocal.
Yeah,
They're
vocals.
very
Right,
vocal.
right.
But once they know you're here,
Look at
don't
that.
mind it at all. They just need some support. They just need a little love, man.
Yeah, a little TLC.
They just need some support.
And that's really what it is, because even as babies, they could be feisty, but then just add a little bit of work, and then I feel like after a while, you know, especially after the first year, they seem to just calm down after a while.
Even my babies. have
They've been
good
calm?
temperaments. Yeah,
That's good.
the only thing they do, they pee on you.
Right.
But they've always had, I mean, you know, I've got a relatively limited experience with them. I've kept them for a long time, but I've got 6 adults, and they're all just as docile as this girl. This girl's a super stripe. She's big.
Is she ovulating or something?
She's ovulating right now.
Right now, wow! I could even tell. Look at that.
This girl's ovulating
Woo!
right now.
As we speak, look at that belly. Beautiful. Did she go for you last year?
Yes,
So this is a repeat for you.
it's a repeat.
What's up, Alex? How you doing, G? Good to see you, buddy.
Yeah, you too.
I hope he's treating you okay, man.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
So here's a baby.
So we're checking out some of Bill's holdbacks here. Now this came from the girl you just showed us.
Yeah,
right
it sure
now, right?
did.
All
Yeah,
right.
sure did
wow.
last year. So that's considered a super stripe, very clean.
That looks so cool, dude.
It's a beautiful animal.
Now, how old is this one?
Let's see. Hatch date on this one was May.
All right, so I'm a huge fan of the rough scales. You do have some, actually, ones currently breeding right now.
I do.
Which we don't want to bug those. So let's check out this sub-adult right here. Oh my gosh, who produced this one?
2-year-old male from me.
Oh my God, this is a Bill Stegall production right here.
Produced it 2 years ago, little male.
Oh my God, what was that like breeding these? I mean, would you say a little difficult, a little bit harder than the blood python or short tail? You would say?
Yeah, I would say just because of me. I think I've had some bad luck.
Right.
Trying to get these going. I actually had a clutch of like 18 babies, and this is the sole survivor.
Wow, 1 out of 18.
I had a lot of eggs that went bad. I had babies that crawled out of the egg with pink spines and crawled out of the egg and died. And they were problem feeders, most of the clutch. But this one made it, and he's awesome.
And so this is your male right here, and currently he's eating what? What do you have this guy on right now?
So he'd eat like frozen, thawed weaned rats.
And is their growth similar to like a green tree python growth?
They do best when he's slow growing.
Right.
You know, these are a semi-arboreal snake. They're lean, mean, and so no rush, right?
Who did you get the parents from? I mean, it's
Dave D.
Dave D. Shout out to Dave D. Say hi, Des.
Hi, Des.
Say bye, Des.
Hi, Des.
You have the main room, and then what room is this one currently?
This is really, I've got 3 sub rooms, and this just happens to be one of them. I keep mostly green trees in here, some expo animals, some ball pythons I've been will come back here and be in semi-quarantine. I will use this room as a semi-quarantine area. That's pretty rare. Most of the quarantine stuff happens in the room right behind you. As soon as they leave the incubator, they go in the room that's behind you. You can go in there and take a look.
That's the real deal room.
Yeah, that's
Please.
where they start. They incubate. Anything that's going to be sold never leaves that room,
That's Bill Stegall in the Chondro factory over there is what you're saying.
Well, that's where the magic happens. That's
All right,
the baby room.
please lead the way, man. You could have picked a different shirt, just saying, but you're still my boy. I'm just
You're
kidding.
supposed to bring me one.
Here we are inside the room. So this is where a lot of your babies are kept before they hit subadult stage, I'm assuming, right?
Absolutely. This is where all the babies are established. And again, I keep my baby green trees in the same damn rack as ball pythons.
Right.
I just keep them, they like a little cooler, keep them in the same tubs. The only difference is put a little coat hanger in there for their perch. And, you know, just...
Yeah, if you could just kind of show people how simple things are in the beginning, you know, and I don't know, let me ask you this, Bill, do you always feel like you should keep it simple throughout the whole life of a chondro? I mean, I know there's different ways of doing things, but if you're keeping a big collection of chondros, what would you say the ideal way to keep a chondro would be?
Well, it's the only way I know. You know, I was
Respect.
taught and I took my cues from people that have been doing it longer than me and people that, you know, I respected and I saw that they had success. So I keep them this way. And I'm not saying that it can't be kept other ways, but for me,
This works.
The simplest is the best for me.
Oh my God, look at this baby, man. I mean, I know you're a red guy, right? But you gotta admit, this yellow right here smacks.
Absolutely beautiful.
What was the exact pairing with this one?
This was a repeat pairing of Jaeger to Biscuit.
Jaeger to Biscuit.
Jaeger to Biscuit.
Awesome.
Which threw some crazy high yellow and black animals.
Right. Awesome.
This awesome focus cube habitat. They call this the Matrix. It's a 12-inch by 12-inch by 12-inch.
Shout out to the sponsor, Stephen and Ashley over at Focus Cube.
Built-in heat in the back. Incredible. Those black perches are awesome.
Bill, I will say, I have to give it to you. I found out about Focus Cube because of you. So shout out to you for being one of the first people to put Focus Cube on the map.
Ask them and they'll tell you.
Yep. At what point do you say, okay, this snake is able to get to upgrade it to the next stage of an enclosure?
Yeah, so like here's a classic example of a 2-year-old. Still keep this thing in a tub. It needs to be moved up, but this is, you know, a ball python tub. It's got 2 coat hangers as perches. This is a 2-year-old animal. This is a 32-quart tub, and so it needs to be moved up. It could be moved up in an adult, like 2x2x2 cube.
How's pairing going so far this year? Kind of let's update people who are very curious as far as what's to come for 2022 when it comes to your chondro projects.
I've had a phenomenal chondro year. I've had 3 females that have ovulated.
Wow.
Within the last 30 days.
Dude, that is huge.
Super stoked about that. You want to see the females?
Yes, let's do it.
Okay.
When was the last time you've had this kind of like results? Like, I mean,
I've never had 3 females ovulate this
no
year.
way.
Most I've ever done has been 2 clutches in a year.
Respect.
Consistently a 1 or 2 clutch
Respect.
until this year. So
Baby mamas, I guess you.
Yeah.
Wow, look at that. So she already ovulated,
yeah,
right?
she ovulated and she had her post-ovulation shed on February 2nd. She's a Manicory locality type, was a red baby that I raised up. She's 6 years old.
6 years old, 6-year-old female. And how many clutches has she laid for you?
This will be her first.
Oh, this will be your first. Wow, first timer. Congratulations, man.
And then the sire is right next to her.
So this is a she came from who? Like what's the
She's
documentation on that one?
Bushmaster.
Bushmaster.
Bushmaster baby. And this is the sire. This is an animal I produced in 2017, and he did a great job. I saw him lock 3 or 4 times, and then she was done.
From your understanding, like if the timing's right, you don't need a lot of locks, right? I mean,
No, I mean, I've seen them lock consistently for 6 months and the female not do anything.
Right.
And I've seen 1 or 2 locks get the job done. I
Right.
think, you know, if they're both ready, and, you know, the male will get up there and be aggressive pretty quick, and they lock a few times, and, you know, if everything works out well and they've been cycled correctly, it's a done deal.
so when it happens, right?
So far for me this year, it has.
What do you have to say to anyone who's keeping chondros out there and respectively been keeping them the way they should, and it's just kind of waiting for their moment for production to happen? Like the guys right here next to me to the right, if you know what I mean.
You got to be patient, and it's a numbers game. I mean, you know, it's just a numbers game. I was super fortunate to breed 3 females and have 3 females ovulate. Usually that's not the case. Usually I would have been happy to get 1. So just got to be patient, and it's a numbers game.
Brian Phillips right here, because Brian actually groomed and raised when it comes to chondro knowledge from the man Bill Stegall himself.
5 years.
He did for a long time. This is Alex Warren, and he is now on the journey with me.
Alex, shout out to me, Alex.
Alex has acquired a lot of green trees here recently, some adults and some babies. And
I think he was just starting to work for you the last time I was here.
Probably so.
And you must have earned some stripes by then, my man.
Yeah, it's been quite a journey.
Get bit by anything crazy yet?
Not yet.
Only me.
Yeah.
Respect. All right, so Brian, real quick. I mean, I will say, man, respect to your chondro game because you are doing it right. The chondros you do have are from some legends, and you're raising them slow, you're raising them right. But let me ask you this. What are some things you feel like are the most challenging things when getting to the moment of having adult chondros? You know, because I feel like, you know, anyone could raise them, but the breeding thing's not easy, obviously, right? And you're starting to realize that. But what would you say one of the biggest obstacles for you so far, or challenges in the chondro game?
Really just the breeding. Everything went well up until they were adults, and it's like you just jump into it, and the first go was too early.
Right.
I didn't know enough. I didn't ask Bill enough questions. You know, it's one thing to watch it.
That's not possible because he asked me a lot of
That's true, I did.
But I mean, Bill, you would have to agree. It comes to a certain point, no matter who your friends are, no matter what research you do, experience is going to be your best teacher.
Yeah.
Like, that's when you start to figure things out when it happens in front of you. Would you agree?
Yeah, for sure. Lives 30 minutes from me, but his condition.
You're a lucky son of a bitch just to even be that.
Oh, I used to be 5 minutes.
Yeah.
I was there every day.
Yeah.
That was fun.
Well, respect to you, Brian. I'm looking forward to seeing what to come. At the end of the day, you are raising some beautiful, healthy-looking chondros, which not a lot of people can even say that they're doing when it comes to keeping chondros. So keep that shit up, man. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
So this
What
is
a guy.
This is a female that I acquired
Ooh, nice.
as an adult 3 years ago. When I acquired her, she was morbidly obese. So I put her on a diet for a year, and then I moved facilities, so I didn't want to breed her that year. So I bred her this year. She did everything perfect. She locked up with the father of the sickness, an animal called Jaeger. And again, maybe 3 or 4 witness locks, and she was done.
Shout out to Ari Flagel, but I had a good conversation last night with Ari on his podcast about, you know, a lot of these snakes being overweight, you know, and a lot of people are acquiring animals that are already overweight, right? So when people are in that position, how do you recommend, or what exactly did you do to like tone down this snake's diet? An overweight snake you don't want to breed, right? I mean, you want to at least get this thing in good shape before you pair it up,
You know,
right?
they've got to be in good shape. I mean, bad things can happen in the best of circumstances with these things. So they have to be in ideal shape. And with the metabolism these things have, you know, when you go on a diet, it's a year-long process, right? I mean, she went from eating a medium rat once a week to a small rat once a month. And, you know, eventually
For a year you did that.
for a year.
And then where's she at right now? As far as feeding goes, like where do you, like now where's she at with her
She'll get back medium rats, but it'll be once every 3 weeks,
not once a week.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, you know, a lot of people don't understand, like, you know, a ball python could get away easily once a week, right? Even
sure.
an adult. But these snakes don't eat that much in the wild, and their bodies aren't built to, you know, keep that much food in them.
They're, I think, probably the most sedentary animal on the planet other than maybe a sloth.
Wow,
you know, the
respect.
studies in the wild, they do not move. They stay in a very defined area, and they may not move unless they're looking for food or looking to breed. They may not move off of a branch for months.
Right.
So, you know, they're super sedentary, and so you got to feed them appropriately.
But you know I love the dark stuff, man. Don't play with me. What you got?
Well, you know, one of my loves is the melanistic stuff, and so I had an animal called the Sickness. He produced several babies. So let's take a look at some of those.
First off, res easy to the sickness. OG, super OG.
Yeah, that was a tough day. This is an animal called Contagion. He's Bill's 1922. Of course, he's a hallmark animal that's in shed.
Oh my gosh.
But I think
Look at that. You
you
can
can
even
get a
still tell. Look
Pretty
at
good
that.
idea of the amount of melanism that he has.
Oh, wow.
I'll be putting him into a breeding project
Here's-
later this year.
Later, I was gonna say
October this year.
He's pretty much looks like he's about to be ready to rock and roll.
Yep.
Now-
This was the Sickness's size and age when he bred the first time.
So what's like a Bill Stegall one-on-one when it comes to pairing a male for the first time? When do you feel like it's game time for a male that you really want to use?
3 years old. And
So you don't weigh or anything like that.
No,
You just go by the age.
I haven't weighed a chondro ever in my life.
Respect.
Seriously. So go by age. 3 years old when they're males, 5 when they're females.
Now, I mean, let me ask you this, Bill. I mean, I have a chondro that's pushing like 4 or 5 years old, and she's a confirmed female, and she's tiny.
Yeah.
Have you ever had any tiny females before, or like smaller chondro females?
I haven't personally, but I know people that have.
And they still breed them?
Yep.
Wow.
Just expect small clutches.
All right.
I like, 5 years old is my.
If this snake had a price tag, and you could round it off, what would you say a snake like this typically should go for?
You know, the Greentree market has been so crazy, MJ, the last couple of years, like a lot of the other stuff. But these things are super special. They're sought out over from the world over. I get people, you know, all over the world that contact me. $25,000 would be an easy price tag on this and up.
And that still probably wouldn't be enough for you to be like, here, you know what I mean? I mean, obviously 25,000 is a lot, but I mean,
One clutch from him would multiply that by a lot. So.
And again, it's also the legacy you've been working for too. I mean, I feel like you kind of can't let something like this go until you see what it's worth, like until you see what it's working with.
See what it can do.
Right,
For sure.
Respect. Not in shed, obviously, right?
She's not in shed.
She looks prime time.
She is a sibling to the animal that we just looked at, sickness baby.
But the female.
Female, she's 3 years old, so she's got a couple years to go. But she's got some really nice size on her. You can tell the difference in size just from that male to female. She's got the classic Jaeger eyes, those gold, literally just goldish eyes, bronze eyes.
That is so beautiful, bro.
Terrible temperament, as you can see. I mean, just super,
Yeah,
super nasty.
You're bleeding everywhere, Bill.
I mean, but this is what, you know, this is what captive bred green trees are all about. This is why you don't buy a $250 Biak at the expo.
Unless you want to get tagged a bit and go
And
through
then-
all the
and then it
other
die-
stuff.
And then it die.
Right. Because I mean, let's be honest, 8 out of 10 times it's gonna die, if not higher percentage.
I think those are probably pretty good odds, unless you've got some experience with them, get it to a vet and put it in perfect housing.
But even the
Which
experience,
nobody does.
but even the experienced ones has multiple deaths under their belts. Like even the ones who are finally dialed in with imports went through so many freaking learning curves and still do. Like death is a part of the import game.
It's expected.
Right.
I mean, it's just an expected occurrence. But this girl's just absolutely fabulous.
So before we put her away, Bill, I gotta ask you. Like, I'm curious if it came to the price difference of a male and a female. This is a sister version of what we just looked at. So, what would be the price difference with a male and female with a snake like this?
You know, the price point's probably pretty close. And that's only because the male can breed earlier
And could you go to multiple females?
You go to multiple females, and the breeding is much more likely to take a toll on her than a male.
Right.
The breeding
Awesome.
can really affect these. It's not uncommon to lose these during the breeding process.
You know, you have an awesome protocol. You've been sanitizing your hands with every snake in between, which shout to your practices. And sometimes when going breeding these chondros, like stuff like that pops up, you know,
sure.
and it's not always like a case of nido or anything like that. You know, there's different strands of RI, but have you ever had to battle any of that recently or anything like that?
The last female that I lost was a beautiful blue cyclops girl, and I lost her to an RI. And like you said, not everything's nido related. Got her tested before she passed.
And she was clean.
And she was negative. We started antibiotics on her. We started her on Fortaz, took her to the vet, got the cultures done, and unfortunately it was Fortaz resistant. And by the time those results came back, we had gotten some medicine in her, but it wasn't enough to save her. So.
Because I mean, there's some medicines like Fortaz that chondros don't do well with sometimes. Like
the bacteria that they get infected with can be resistant
Right.
to antibiotics, and so
just really depends. And
it just depends. The large majority of respiratory infections in green trees, certainly not all of them, but unlike the bacterial stuff, nido can't be treated. You just have to ride out the storm, and most importantly, you don't pass along to others in your collection. So testing and then isolating those animals has been a game changer for the green tree community. Just being able to test for that, and then increasing that sanitary habits. I never used to sanitize my hands between feedings or holdings, but now I do all the time, and I think it's made a difference, and I think it's going to make a difference in the green tree population, captive bred stuff here in the future.
so, Bill, I will say you're no strangers to podcasts. You've been on Morelia Python Radio. You've been on my podcast, Chris Eaton's. It's a big wave of excited new chondro keepers in the industry. They're super excited, but what is your message to any new chondro keeper out there if you have a message?
Get a mentor, get preferably somebody that's close to you. If not, get an online mentor, and don't take the cheap way out. You're going to have to save your nickels, get good husbandry equipment, get the right animal from the right person, put it in the right box, and you've got a very high success of succeeding.
Go cheap, you get cheap results.
Yeah, you get what you pay for, literally.
100%.
With these animals.
Well, thank you, Bill. I appreciate you so much, man. Gary Shavino's favorite. It's a capandri. All right, guys. Hey, listen, thank you so much for tapping in. Please, before you guys dip out, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, smash that notification bell, drop a comment. Let me know what you like the most out of my boy Bill Stegall's collection. Thank you so much for tapping in, and I'll catch you guys here next week on another Snake Trap Sessions vlogs, and I'm out. Cheers.